Hello everyone, this is Tasuki of Flames, and I am back for yet another Dragon Ball discussion, opinion, whatever you might want to call it. Most of the time I just end up going off into random rants anyway. If you watched any of my other Dragon Ball content thus far, you'll know I'll come up with a topic and then I'll fly all over the place, and then I might towards the end get back on it. I'm sorry, I always have a lot to say on different topics that I actually find interesting, that really speak to me. But for this video, I am talking about a particular question, and that is, can Cell absorb other people the same way he did androids 17 and 18? And when I talk about that, I'm not talking about, like, you know, with the humans and stuff like that, where he just poked him with his tail and they sucked the life out of him. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about specifically 17 and 18, where he would open up the back of his tail and actually absorb all of them, their entire body, into himself. And why that is important is because we have some kind of non-canon, whatever you want to call it, content that brings that into question a bit. Because I know everyone will automatically bring that up. It's like, well, this thing happened in Dragon Ball Z. It's not canon, it's canon. Well, you might as well call it cannon fodder, because canon doesn't matter that much. Just whatever the heck you think, that's good enough. But for this in particular, we have a couple of different situations. As far as Dragon Ball itself, particularly Dragon Ball Z, we only saw Cell actually use his tail and open his cell up for 17 and 18. Those are the only times we ever saw him, and at no point in the series does it ever say, or Cell or anyone else, as far as I know anyway, that he could absorb anyone else like that. He didn't attempt it, and it's not like he didn't have a chance, because you gotta think, there are people far stronger than androids 17 and 18 that he could absorb with that same method if it was useful. And that is very important. And it's not like he didn't have the chance. Think about this. He, at one point, had Piccolo, after he combined with Kami, he had a hold of him, and he, instead of trying to absorb him completely, all he did was, ram his tail into his arm and suck that dry. Obviously, that's important, because what was to stop him from just straight up using his tail and absorbing him? Because at that point, Piccolo was just as strong, maybe even just a pinch stronger than Android 17 was. And that was proven later in their fight. It's just the only reason Piccolo started to kind of lose that fight was simply because he was running out of energy, while 17 stays around the same power the whole time. He doesn't really get overly tired or anything like that, being an android. Not being an android, Piccolo does wear out. But what if he could do that? Wouldn't that be like prime real estate to do that with? And instead, he said he's gonna suck, Piccolo dry. That can be so taken out of context. Oh, I'm going to suck Piccolo dry. That's disgusting. We don't need to hear that. But he didn't try to do that. And that's not the only time. There's another time when he is fighting and getting his butt handed to him by Android 16, another android. Yet again, he at no point tried to use his tail to absorb him. Instead, he jammed his tail into his neck. He didn't know he was a full android and nothing but freaking metal and all that crap at the time. He thought he was going to be able to absorb some energy out of him. So, what does he do? Like I said, he just does the same thing he was doing with humans. He doesn't try to absorb them a different way. And that is also very key, because Android 16 is a lot stronger than Android 17 and 18. Again, if he could do it, then why didn't he do it then? The reason that I'm coming to with all this is I don't think it's possible for him to do it. And now let's go ahead and take care of that monkey in the room. Like, oh, Tatsuki, what about in Dragon Ball GT, when he absorbs Goku and it becomes ultra super strong? Well, that happened in Dragon Ball GT, and as far as I'm concerned, that is a major plot hole, and that's the only time we've seen it happen. And nowhere else does it say anything about that being possible. And if he could do that all along, why wouldn't he have done it a long time ago? It's not like he didn't have the chances. He could have done it at any point in time. The fact is, Dragon Ball GT, while a pretty good series overall, has plot holes like that left and right, where they just do it just because it sounded cool to do. Yeah, let's just have them. Well, the thing is, like I said, overall, that doesn't make much sense. I'm not really taking that much into consideration because that's the only point we see him, and it's Dragon Ball GT. Now, as far as the timeline we're actually running with, that goes Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, which is the timeline Toriyama is wanting us to pay attention to, there's never anything said about him being able to absorb anyone but 17 and 18 that way. And furthermore, it is not in the manga or anywhere else as far as I know. And he had his chances. With everyone else, he uses his tail to try and suck them dry as far as all the humans he did and any other people that he actually got a chance to do that with, which was Piccolo and 16, but 16, that was a waste of time. But I also think there's a reason why he doesn't do that. It's because he's not designed to be able to absorb anyone else by that. That's why he has to freaking stab people with his tail to absorb them. But when he does that with his tail, it's not like he could just stab Piccolo and suck his whole body dry and he's going to gain the exact power from Piccolo. And don't quote me on this. Let's just say that, let's use like a 10-point scale. Let's just say Cell was a 5 and Piccolo was a 4. If he stabbed him with his tail and absorbed all his energy that way, he's not going to become a 9. I don't think it's just 1 plus 1 is 2 type of thing. He becomes more powerful, but it's a less efficient and effective method. Now, with 17 and 18, he was specifically designed by Dr. Gero to be able to absorb those two and gain a certain specified amount of power from doing that with each one of them. He was not programmed to absorb anyone else, just those two. So that's like when it's been said by many other Dragon Ball YouTubers, when he absorbs 17 and 18, it's just, he's not just adding their power on his own. It's like some kind of multiplier or something that was set in his program to say, you're going to get this power. Because he doesn't just become a little bit more powerful, he becomes a ton more powerful, especially in his perfect form, than when he started out. That much power that he gains is way more than adding their power. So when it comes to absorbing anyone else, he's not capable of doing it. He wasn't programmed to do that. He can use means to gain some power through just sucking up their life energy or whatever the heck he does when he does that, their innards and stuff like that. But it is nowhere near as effective as, of course, taking on the androids. It was pretty much shown when he's done that type of stuff like that. He gained power from humans and gained a little bit of power, I guess, I don't know, from when he sucked Piccolo's arm up. But he didn't gain all that much power. It wasn't like the boost he got when he was absorbing 17 and 18. It's not even close. So, as far as I'm concerned, he just is not capable of doing. That is not in his design. His design was specifically for 17 and 18 and nothing else. And that is all he knows. He just wants those and nothing else. Like I said, you can spout GT all you want, but nowhere else does it show anything about him that being possible. And I think, given the opportunity, he would have already done it at some other point in time if he could. Like okay, just say once he harmed, did damage to Gohan, why didn't he try to absorb him if he was capable of doing it? That would have been a monster boost to join him. No, he wasn't capable. He just plain couldn't do it. It was not in the design to be able to do that, and that's specifically because Toriyama didn't design him to be able to do that. He designed him and came up with this character based on 17 and 18. That's just about it. And if you disagree with any of that, like I said, let me comment below. Just have a discussion about it. I'm fully open if you think I'm wrong or you come up with good ideas for why I'm wrong or just your theories. If you have different theories, I'm completely open to them. I don't claim to be an expert on Dragon Ball or some kind of genius or to know every fact there is. I just claim to be a really big Dragon Ball fan. I've been watching Dragon Ball since the mid 90s and was hooked on it through watching VHSs, DVDs, anything I can get my hands on. I've never been able to read the manga. I didn't have access to it back then. I didn't even know a lot of that stuff back then when I first got into it. I was just able to get like a couple of the Japanese VHSs that people were burned and everything else like that. They weren't official, that's for dang sure. I can tell that now. But I was very interested in them. But if you have your own theories or notions, just comment below, and I'm more than willing to have a conversation about them. And if you want, like, a more factual, like, super in-depth version of this kind of stuff, you can always go over to Geekdom 101's channel. I talked to him through Twitter and other stuff like that. He really knows a lot through the manga and everything else. He really digs into it, and I'm sure he's looked into this kind of stuff before and would be able to be a good source to get, if you want super hard facts on it, then you can always check out his channel. He's one of the smartest Dragon Ball YouTubers out there. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. Like I said, if you have comments, I am more than willing to answer them. I have no problem with that. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. I also mainly do Let's Plays, and I'm constantly uploading like usually it's 2 videos a day. If you have any kind of topics that you would like me to go over, or just in general, I'm more than open to hearing about that. And as always, I will see you in the next episode. See ya!